Welcome everyone to Vinyasa Flow. My name is Dee and I'll be guiding your practice today. We're going to start from a seated position with the legs however they're most comfortable for you. The knees could be bent or straight. Feel your sits bones pressing into either the mat or perhaps a prop like a folded blanket or towel. This helps the pelvis tilt more naturally forward how it's supposed to. It can relieve back pain if you're feeling a little twinge when you sit flat on the floor. Some people like to sit on a bolster, on a block. So I just invite you to find a level of comfort wherever you might be. And then close your eyes and begin to pull your awareness inside. We'll connect with our bodies as we practice so that we will be able to weigh and decide what types of poses we'll move ourselves into and what types of things we might stay away from. We'll connect here with our heart center. Just bringing your attention and your awareness to your heart. And now bring your attention and your awareness to your breath. Watching the breath enter and leave the body, maybe watching how far the lungs inflate. Maybe feeling the sensations of taking deeper breaths. And just let the body continue to settle here. Keeping a straight back. Some of the core muscles are tight to hold you up. Maybe you're using your hands to support you by your side. Today we'll move into a pranayama called box breathing or the square breath. I like to think of it as a box. It could either be a square or a rectangle. A square box is equal inhales, a pause, exhale, and another pause. And then it starts over again. A rectangle is longer inhales and exhales, shorter pauses for those that are more comfortable there. You can design your box however you'd like. And just let your breath be your guide here. Beginning as you're ready. And taking each breath at your own pace, not worrying about anyone else. Being able to inhale, hold a pause for a moment. Take the exhale and hold the second pause for a moment. Just notice how your body feels with the rhythm of this breath, this breathing exercise. And then go ahead and set that breath to the side. Continue to observe your body. How has your breath changed without the control? How has it stayed the same? On the next inhale, let's flutter open our eyes slowly. And let's begin to open and close our hands, making fists and then spreading the fingers out really wide, the thumb as well. Keep moving back and forth, maybe spending more time in your fist than in your jazz hands. And next, with the hands and the fists, let's make some figure eights with the wrists. Maybe first going slowly and then maybe moving the pace to go a little faster. Now go in the opposite way with your figure eights. And again, first move more slowly and then move a little more quickly. Let's inhale our arms out wide like a T. And let's point our fingers to the side walls of our room or just by our side if we're outside and stretch through the arms and hands, holding them up anywhere above the earth. If it feels good to lift them over the head, you can do that too. And then relax the hands, let the shoulders relax back and down on the spine. And we'll move into two of the core vinyasas that I introduced last week. The first one is a sun breath. The second one is a morning greeting. So when you're ready for your first sun breath, release your arms out by your side, palms up, and we'll take an inhale, slowly lifting the arms up overhead. When you reach up overhead or as high as you can, simply flip your wrists, point your palms down, and as you exhale, you'll lower your arms slowly. Let's keep moving at our own pace. Let's try to stretch our arms as far out and up and then out and down as we can on our next breath. Good. And then on the next breath, let's try to extend our spine as much as possible, reaching the crown of the head towards the ceiling, creating space in the body. Do two more of these, focusing on whatever sensations call your mind to a particular area. And the next time your arms are down by your side, we'll leave them there. If you want to roll your shoulders or scrunch them up and then relax them down, you can. Move around a little bit. Maybe change your foot position. Let the opposite foot come closer to the body if one is closer than the other. So sun breaths, sort of wake up the body, wake up the arms. We're not really moving the legs, obviously, quite yet, but we will get to that. Let's move into morning greeting, which is a nice pose, just like a sun breath, a core vinyasa, where you can take it anywhere, do it seated or standing, and move it into your day, maybe while you're waiting for the microwave to finish cooking your dinner. So let's move on to our morning greeting. We'll inhale, the arms come up overhead. Just like a sun breath. Exhale, we'll bring our hands down to our heart. Inhale, we'll pause motion. Exhale, we'll bring our hands straight out in front. Our eyes are open, our gaze is forward. The next inhale, we'll draw our arms wide out to the side and back. Open the chest, lift the chin. Exhale, lower the chin, bring the hands and palms together, stretching the shoulders in the back. The next inhale, bends the elbows, palms pressing together, come back to the heart. Exhale, we'll move our arms back down by our sides so we can start all over again. You can go at your own pace if you've memorized it. I'll be repeating this core vinyasa for the next couple of classes, and then for the rest of the semester, I'll just sort of sprinkle it in here and there. But I want you to memorize it so you can use it. We'll inhale our arms up. Exhale, hands come to the heart. Inhale. Exhale, gaze forward, arms forward. Inhale, cow, Arms wide. Exhale, cat. Curving the spine, dropping the shoulders and the chin. Inhale, hands to the heart. Exhale, hands by your side. Let's do that one more time. Inhale the arms up. Exhale to the heart. Inhale. Exhale, hands come out. Inhale, cow. Arching the spine. Exhale, rounding the shoulders. Oops. And bringing the hands together. Inhale, come back to the heart. Exhale, release the arms down by your side. All right, let's move into butterfly pose. We'll press the soles of the feet together so that we line up the toes, the arches, and the heels. We can hold on to the legs or keep our hands by our side to sort of prop us up and support us here. See if you can release your knees a little closer to the floor, release your legs, maybe play with how close your ankles and heels are to your hips, and see which position best allow your legs to relax and open. Sitting up nice and tall, let's extend our spine, the first movement of the spine. Being able to extend, create more space between the vertebra, reach the crown of the head towards the ceiling without drawing up the shoulders towards the ears. Excellent. Let's turn to one side. We'll bring the opposite hand to the knee we're turning towards. And we'll set the back hand back behind us so that we can really draw back the shoulder. You might even reach that arm back behind you if you'd like. Still sitting up nice and tall on the sits bones. Inhale to extend the spine. Exhale, use your hand on that outer knee to help you come into the twist a little more deeply. Perhaps you draw your chin to the back shoulder as well. Breathe here normally, finding the extension, the twist, and the relaxation of the legs in butterfly at the same time. Let's release and come back to the center. We'll move very quickly over to the other side. We want to find our twist to this direction. Taking that big inhale to extend the spine, and then exhaling to move into the twist. Breathing here. And then letting the next exhale return everything back towards the front. And let's stretch out the legs and windshield wiper the feet back and forth. 2 more movements of the spine. So we've covered 3 total. Let's move the legs into whatever comfortable position you'd like. Easy pose, knees bent, legs straight in caterpillar or staff pose. So finding that extension in the spine, pressing down on the sits bones, lifting up through the crown of the head. Let's find our sway, our half moon sway, back and forth by lifting one arm laterally as we lower the opposite arm, and let that lower hand support us while the upper arm flows and really opens the top of the rib cage, or the side rather of the rib cage, um, on each side here, giving us our 4th and our 5th spinal movement out of the 7. The next time your arms are parallel to the ground, let's reach out by our sides one more time. Really letting the fingers extend, and then relaxing the arms down by our sides. Let's Do the last two movements of the spine from table. So come on up onto your hands and knees. Perhaps move your prop along with you. Find yourself in that tabletop position with knees hip distance apart, wrists a little more than shoulder distance, fingers clutching the ground or really grounded, rooted to the floor, the mat. Begin your cat and cows as you're ready, slowly rounding and then arching your spine, drawing the navel up away from the mat, curling your shoulders, your spine, perhaps tucking your chin, and then moving the spine in a arch, letting the navel release towards the floor. Chin slightly lifts, tailbone lifts up and back. For the sixth and seventh movement of the spine, we'll bring our spine to a neutral position halfway in between our cat and our cow. Find it there, take some time, and then step the left foot back behind you and slide the right fingers forward. See if you want to inhale to lift, exhale to lower. Keep moving if you'd like. To lift and lower the opposite arm and leg. Doesn't matter how high you come up off the mat. If you'd like to move from sunbird to touching your elbow against your opposite knee and then extending back into your sunbird, you can give that a try. Just a couple of options. You can also stay with a low sunbird and hold here to work on your core. It really doesn't matter what you choose because in the end, you're making decisions that's best for your own body. Let's release if you haven't already and just let the hips sort of fall to each side, just sort of stretching the hips with the legs. We'll come back to center and stretch the opposite foot back. Left foot comes forward, left hand comes forward. We'll inhale to lift to parallel or to simply stretch and extend the arm, keeping it on the floor, the foot as well. Letting that hand and foot lengthen the arm and the leg. If you'd like to start drawing elbow to knee, finding some extension in your sunbird, that's an option here as well. Releasing as you're ready and settling for a moment back into child's pose. Big toes touching, knees perhaps a little ways apart or more. Upper body released towards the floor, hips released towards the heels, not worrying about how far up you are. Maybe letting yourself rest on forearms and catch your breath if you need to. Let your next inhale bring you back up on into your table, and we'll step the left foot forward to reach our hips towards the floor. You can use blocks here if you'd like. Placing one under each hand, letting the block prop you up, giving your chest and belly just a little bit of space with that forward leg right there. We can move the left hand to the inside of the left leg, and you can come down on forearms or lower if you'd like. Find the stretch in the middle of the right thigh, right at the top. Let's switch sides Bringing our left arm back on the left side, we'll draw the left foot back and send the right one forward in its place, releasing the hips to the floor. Perhaps bringing the right hand to the inside of the right foot, maybe lowering onto forearms or even lower. Again, finding the stretch in the middle of the left thigh at the top. We'll kind of sway our hips back, release that right hand to the right side. And we're going to come on up into a standing position, either through downward facing dog or by stepping one foot forward. From a kneeling position, but we'll all make our way up to mountain. And let's come up to the top of the mat. Actually, sorry, let's go to the middle of the mat first. So we've done a couple of core vinyasas seated. We'll do a couple of more right here, standing. One is sun breaths with and without heel lifts, and the other is sun salutations. So when you're ready, inhale your arms out to the side, or if your space is such, you might want to bring your arms forward. And then exhale your arms down. You can move at your own pace. Then each exhale, lift the arms. And each inhale, lifting the arms. And each exhale, lowering the arms. Excuse me. And also go out to the sides. When you're ready to add in the heel lifts, let your heels lift with each inhale and lower with each exhale. For added stability, you could stand up against a wall. And let your body get used to the synchronicity of the arms and the feet. Next time your heels are on the floor, let's make our way up to the top of the mat now. Our next vinyasa core sort of flow is a sun salutation. This is usually the longest flow people do in Vinyasa Flow classes. And I'm going to make this one a mandala flow by utilizing all of the sides of the mat. So let's inhale, our arms come up overhead in a sun breath. Exhale, bend your arms, bend your knees, come into a forward fold. Hang your hands and head. Inhale, come up halfway. Flat back, hands on thighs or shins. Exhale, release your hands, plant them down, and step the left foot back. We'll make this a low lunge today. So let's drop that left knee, flatten the foot, and let an inhale. Lift one or both arms up towards the sky, or maybe bring them to your heart or your waist. And exhale releases the hands. We're kind of hunched over our forward leg. We need to move that leg back. So we'll come up onto our toes in the back, lift that knee, and send the right foot back, coming into plank or half plank. Taking a breath here. Inhaling, pushing the toes forward to move the head and shoulders, hips, come a little closer to the front of the mat. As you exhale, you slowly lower yourself down, flattening your feet. Ready here ready here to do, I'm losing the pose. Sorry. We'll do an inhale to lift head, neck, and chest. Exhale to lower. Let the feet curl under. We'll push ourselves up. Hips come up and back into a downward dog after that cobra. That's what it was. We'll stretch here, maybe alternating, lowering the heels one at a time. We'll bring our heels even. Let your next inhale bring your gaze towards your hands. We'll step the left foot up, then the right foot. We'll inhale, arms come up overhead. And exhale, hands come to the heart. We're going to turn away from our display or our screen, and we're going to come into a wide angle. Widening the legs out from side to side. Let's turn the foot to the left, 90 degrees. Or actually, let's turn the foot closest to the top of the mat where we just were, 90 degrees. That'll be a better way of cueing that. And then we'll bend the knee, bringing our legs and our feet here into the warrior two position. Let your next inhale lift your arms out to warrior two. And take a breath here. Let your arms exhale down. Bring them down by your sides. We'll straighten that forward knee. We'll turn that toe so that all 10 toes are facing now towards the back wall. From here, let's reach our arms out wide like wings, letting our arms and shoulders stretch, our rib cage, our wrists, hands. And then exhale your hands down, bring them back behind your hips, interlace your fingers, bending up through your elbows, and then straighten your elbows, drawing the backs of the hands back behind you. Roll your shoulders back and down, the chest opener here. If you want, you can lift the hands with the fingers interlaced up away from the hips, and then exhale the hands down. From here, we'll turn the foot towards the bottom of the mat, 90 degrees. We'll bend that knee. We'll come into our warrior two, facing this direction, looking out over the opposite arm. If your arms are lifted to parallel. Let the next exhale release the hands down. We'll straighten the knee. And we'll turn that foot towards the bottom of the mat, back facing the opposite foot. Let's walk the feet together, and we're going to come down to the bottom of the mat for our second sun salutation. From here, let your hands lift up over your head on the next inhale, a sun breath. Exhale, nose dive, forward fold. Let your body go. Bend deeply through the knees. Inhale to come up halfway. Exhale to release your hands to the floor. You can step this time the right foot back behind you. Let that knee settle. The right foot flattens, and let an inhale sweep the arms up overhead. Or lift yourself up away from that forward leg. Bring your hands to your heart or your hips. The exhale releases the hands, grounding them. We'll lift through that right foot and leg to step the left foot back into plank or half plank. With the next inhale, move the toes, press on the toes to move the body forward. Slow your descent as you exhale and release yourself to the floor. Hands are under shoulders, elbows are tucked in. We'll inhale to cobra, maybe to half cobra. Exhale to release. Inhale, tucks the feet and shifts the body back up into downward facing dog. We can walk the dog here. Alternating or lifting the heels at the same time. And an inhale can lift the gaze to both hands. We'll step the right foot forward, the left foot forward. We'll inhale, hands and arms come up overhead. Exhale, hands come down to the heart. We'll turn towards the front side of the mat now. Step the feet out into a wide angle again. We'll start again with the toes towards the top of the mat. We'll rotate those 90 degrees, bend through the knee. Find your warrior two legs once again. Let an inhale, lift the arms up any amount, and let the gaze look out over the hand, the forward hand without straining. And exhale, releases the hands, straightens the knee. We'll turn the foot so that we're facing our screen now. We'll inhale, the arms come out wide like wings, making that sort of 5-star or 5-point star. Exhale, release your hands back behind you. Let the fingers interlace as the elbows bend, and then we'll straighten straighten the arms. Press the backs of the palms towards the heels, towards the floor. Roll the shoulders back and down. Open the chest here. If you want, you can lift the hands back behind you, away from your hips on the next inhale, and lower the hands on the next exhale, releasing them away from each other. We'll turn opposite foot, bend through that knee, find our warrior two. On the opposite side, pressing the 4 corners of each feet into the floor. And then exhaling to release the hands, then straightening that bent knee, turning the toes. Let's walk the feet together and let's shake the legs out. Let's move into tree pose. Find your mountain pose. Maybe your feet are hip distance apart. Maybe they're a little more or a little less. Let's do this from its most basic shape to one that, if you're feeling comfortable with your balance, you can kind of move into more straining of the muscles, or I wouldn't put it that way, I guess, but you can feel the action in your muscles, the activity, that muscle come alive, tightness, not straining, okay? Let's bend one of the knees and we'll turn it out, pointing the toes 90 degrees again. We can keep that leg here, or we can move the leg in. The wider your stance, the easier it is to balance. Find your pose legs, and then let the top part of the body find its length and its extension. A good choice to make in each pose is, do I want to strengthen or do I want to balance? Do I want to lift or do I want to stay low? We can move the foot in. Excuse me. We can also move the foot onto the standing leg, making sure the foot doesn't touch the knee. You could even use the same hand to grab the toe of the leg that's lifted and stretch it up and out to the side. Find your version of tree. Maybe grow your branches. Let them wave in the wind. Find a spot you can look at as you breathe and hold your pose here. Almost like when you played statue as a kid, if you ever played that. Letting the exhale relax the arms down. Let the feet and legs come out of the pose and let's shake them out. come back into our mountain pose. Get ourselves ready for tree on the opposite side, bending the opposite knee, turning the foot and knee out, maybe keeping our base very stable, maybe challenging ourselves by making our base smaller, maybe bringing the foot onto the standing leg, and maybe grabbing the foot and extending the leg out to the side. Decide how your tree feels right on this side. See if you can hold the pose, making the body still. Releasing as you're ready. First the arms, then the legs, and then shaking the body out, shaking the legs. We'll do one more core vinyasa very quickly. The forward fold chair. I'll turn to the side so that you can sort of see how the hips and knees are relative to one another. We'll inhale, the arms come up overhead. Exhale, we'll sink back into our chair. Hands and arms go where they're comfortable. We'll turn this into a forward fold by tipping the head and shoulders forward, keeping the knees bent. We'll come into a mountain pose by inhaling the arms, coming up to standing, straightening the legs. Exhale, hands to the heart. One more time. We'll inhale, sun breath, exhale into chair. Hold the pose here, wherever here is for you. Next exhale sends us into a forward fold. In our forward fold for a breath or two. And when you're ready, inhaling back up to mountain with the hands at the heart. Nice. Let's move from here to stepping the left foot forward. Let there be a couple of feet, maybe a foot and a half, in between both feet. And we have them on railroad tracks. Our knees are straight. We're finding our pyramid shape. So step into that back heel. Step into all four corners of that back foot and all four corners of the front foot. Find your balance, your stability, your strength through your core, that lift through the spine, shoulders back and down. We can bring our hands back behind us again. Another heart opener, rolling the shoulders back. We can also tip forward and find a nice stretch in that left hamstring. Lifting our arms and hands up away from our spine as we lower and bringing them back down towards the hips as we lift. Let's change our pyramid sides. Opposite foot forward. Find your comfortable position. Knees straight. All 10 toes facing the short end of the mat. Feel the stretch in the legs. Bring the hands back behind you to find your heart opener. And then sink into your forward fold if you'd like. Stretching that forward hamstring, perhaps lifting the hands up away from the hips towards the sky as you exhale. And relaxing and releasing the hands back down as you inhale and lift. And we'll bring the legs together, shake them out one last time. We'll make our way down to our mat now. Sitting on our hips with our feet both out in front of us, knees bent to the sky. Let's slowly lower our way down onto our mat. Letting your head, neck, and chest release towards the floor. Bending up through both knees here. Let's take a full body stretch by straightening our legs, sending our arms and hands back behind our head and stretching the whole body here for a breath or two. Maybe moving our head from side to side with our arms up and back behind us. Next time your chin is in the center, if you've moved it, let's bring our arms back down by our side and let's step up onto each foot. From here, let's cross left knee and thigh over the right as if we're crossing our legs. Inhale to bring your arms out wide like wings. And then exhale, bring your hands up towards the ceiling so your palms are facing one another. And let your right arm go on top of the left. You can bring your hands to your shoulders and then bring your forearms and the backs of your hands together. You can also press your palms together, press your elbows together, and not worry about crossing your hands, especially if you have a shoulder injury or any pain there. We're headed into eagle arms and legs. So if you'd like to lift the lower foot up off the mat and use your abdomen to hold the legs up, you can. If you'd like to keep your feet resting on the floor, you can do that too. Inhale to lift your hands and arms, your elbows. Feel that stretch. Maybe touch your fingers to the floor. And then release your hands, release your legs, and just stretch everything out. Arms can be at your side, up over your heads, or out wide like wings. And then bend up through each leg. Bring your arms where they're comfortable. Cross the right leg over the left. Let your arms come out wide like wings. We'll exhale, bring the hands together. Arms come right in front of the shoulders, right on top, stacked of the shoulders. This time, left elbow goes over to the right if you're crossing arms. You can give yourself a hug here. Bring your forearms together, your hands. Lift the legs if you'd like, using the core to hold them up here, and then find your eagle arms. Maybe letting your fingers touch towards the floor, stretching the arms and legs before unwinding arms and legs and bringing both knees in towards the chest. Maybe you bring one and then the other, or maybe you brought both at once. Let's find our seed pose, and then we'll rock from left to right. We'll come back to the center, let the feet float down to the floor. Make sure there's nothing under your head as you bring your arms down alongside the body. Let the next inhale lift the hips up off the floor. Take a few breaths with the hips still lifted. And then let an exhale release the hips. Let the next inhale lift. Hold it here. Let your breath stay even. And then exhale to release. When you're ready, we'll go up for a third and final time at your own pace. Perhaps lifting the hips more than before, pressing into both feet. Exhaling to lower. Hips and back release towards the floor at the same time. We'll come back into our seed pose, both knees into the chest, and we'll rock back and forth from side to side. We'll come back to the center. Let your knees float down to the mat. We'll straighten the right foot and bring the straighten the right leg. Bring the right foot down to the bottom of your mat. Then take the left foot, put it on top of the right thigh, and bring your right hand up to sort of help coax that left knee over to the right side. We're coming into a one-legged twist here. Left arm's extended out to the side. Chin can rotate to that left shoulder. Take a few breaths in this one-legged twist. And let the next inhale bring you out of the twist. We'll straighten that left leg and we'll bend up through that right knee, letting that left hand coax the knee over to the right. Left hand is coaxing the right knee over to the left. And we'll stretch our right arm out beside us. Taking a few breaths here before letting the next inhale bring everything back to center. And let's take a minute for student choice. Choose a pose that you'd like to use as a student, whatever your body might be calling you to do. Maybe you need a yoga walk or a wind relieving pose or a happy baby, more butterfly, maybe knee circles. Whatever your heart's desire. And as you're ready to come out of that pose, come into a full body stretch. Extending arms and legs, maybe pressing through all four limbs at once, maybe just doing arms, just doing legs, maybe alternating the left half of the body with the right half of the body. And then bring your arms down by your sides and bend up through both knees again. This time, let's start on the right leg. We'll pick up that right foot and we'll place our foot on top of the left knee. We'll widen that right knee out to the side into piriformis stretch. And we'll take our right hand and begin to press away that right thigh and knee. And then just draw it back towards you. You can decide to keep doing this, or you can lift up the right foot, reach your hands so that you can interlace your fingers back behind, that left foot and thigh, and draw the leg structure towards you. Rocking back and forth if you'd like. Breathing into your piriformis stretch, maybe using the bent elbow by your leg to push that thigh out, that right thigh, as you draw the left thigh in. See how deeply you can feel a stretch moving into spaces that are a little harder to get a feeling of lengthening from. And then let your exhale relax your body, let go of the Interlace fingers and let your feet and legs float to the mat and straighten out or stay bent to the sky. Take a breath here. And bend up through each foot again, or each knee. Bring the foot to the mat. And we'll start on the left side this time, picking up the left foot, letting our left hand sort of move this thigh away. Stretching where the thigh attaches to that left hip socket. Keep doing this, or if you'd like to feel a little more of a stretch, you can bring the right foot and leg up towards you, interlace your hands behind that thigh. Press through the left heel, activate that leg as you draw the leg structure towards you. Maybe press your left elbow to keep that left thigh farther away, really bringing the stretch deep into the body. Taking the time, even in a Vinyasa Flow class, to really stretch the body after our strengthening and standing poses. When you're ready to release, go ahead and let your leg structures release. Bring yourself into a comfortable position for another moment. Take a couple of breaths here. Feel the sensations happening in the body. Maybe there's a humming to your muscles or other kinds of sensations you might be feeling. And let's go ahead and set ourselves up for our final Shavasana here. Perhaps bringing a blanket or towel behind the head, lengthening the neck and throat. Maybe lifting the middle back and setting the shoulders back and down farther on the rib cage. Flatten them out a little bit. The legs can stretch long on the floor. You can bend up through each knee and walk the feet out wide. This constructive rest pose has the legs and knees holding each other up. Hands and arms can be on the torso, by your sides, anywhere, up over your head. Listening to our bodies and giving our bodies the stretches and the tension of using the muscles, making our bodies feel alive. Closing down the eyes. Let your breath become lengthened once again. Bringing your body into stillness here. Gently lengthening each breath. Letting the body relax against the floor. Let your breath start to smooth out a little more now. Staying connected with and aware of our breath moving through our bodies. Grateful for this opportunity to practice in community, even if we're all not here at the same time. You could be watching this recording months later. We'll very gently begin to rock our chin from side to side, slowly waking up, slowly making movement. Bringing our nose and chin back up to the center of the chest. Let's roll over onto one side, stacking knees and elbows, hands and wrists, feet and ankles, hips and shoulders. We'll let the next inhale lift us up away from the floor, coming up slowly. Finding another comfortable position for our legs, our sits bones. If it's up against a wall, that's fine. If it's up on a chair, that's fine. Sitting up nice and tall. Let's release our arms by our side and let our next inhale lift our hands and arms up and out overhead. Hands will come together and we'll exhale. Elbows bend, thumbs line up with the sternum. Closing down the eyes, let's let the next exhale release the chin towards the chest as we bow to the divine within us. The light in me honors the light in each of you. Let the next inhale lift your chin, flutter open your eyes, release your hands, and thank you all so much for joining me today for a nice Vinyasa Flow practice. And I hope to see you next time. Take care.